Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Welcome to my new topic. Today I would like to talk about the learners. In Vietnamese we say Người có ăn học. This topic, a word, the learner is also limited as several words more, such as a popular students or researchers. It means that it includes the learner who are starting from the basic to the highest educators. Also includes the wise in Buddhism who are always graceful to others, always train their mind to be purified, also guides other people to be purified, and also always sacrifice themselves for the purpose of other happiness and prosperity. Yeah. Those are what's called in Buddhism as the wise. Yeah, as the wise. For our topic today, the learners, it would emphasize for one who is learning, whether a popular students or the researchers. The teachings for one who is to be successful, namely the four well Sakya in Pali term and the four pathways to success, Etipatas in Pali term, are not the only thing to bear in mind. There are also the following principles to learn and practice, to observe. I would like to go to one by one or section by section. Section A, knowing the heroes of learning. He understands the two factors, correct views, which are one, good external factors. Having good friends, which refer to associating with teachers, advisors, friends, and other vehicles of learning, such as book or the Pali Canon, commentaries or sub-commentaries in Theravada or the Mahayana's journal or Mahayana text or Vajrayana text in Mahayana Buddhism or Vajrayana Buddhism. It also includes having general social conditions that's as wholesome and helpful. All of these will encourage or arouse the arising of wisdom through the process of listening, discussing, seeking advice, covering, reading, and researching. This also entails being selective about the use of mass media. two good internal factors. Yoniso-manasikara in Pali term, which is the proper use of thinking, knowing how to think or being skilled in thinking. That is seeing things with critical reflection, tracing their cause and effects, analyzing an object or problem in order to see it as it is and in terms of its causal condition, until one sees its true nature and can solve the problem or brings about benefits. In short, we can understand that one, knowing how to reply beneficially on the people and things around one. Two, knowing how to be self-reliant and also make oneself a refuge to others. By all the way, we can understand that, okay, to be success, to be the success one, at least we have to rely on two things. First one, we have to rely on all the people for our self-development. And second, we have to live, depend on ourselves with the purpose of all the happiness and prosperity. That is all the activities that human being includes in those two steps. Be having the guarantees of the light that is progressing. Having learned of the two heroes of learnings, one must put them into practice in one's own life and also develop another 5 qualities, bringing the total to 7, which are known as the auroras of the good lives or the Taos of education. The Buddha compared them to the lights of the Tao, which always precedes sunrise, because these qualities are the capital foundations which guarantees that learning will advance and life will progress to virtue and success that are exalted and noble. They are as follow. 1. Seeking out source of wisdom and good example. 2. Having discipline as a foundation for one life's development. 3. Having a heart that aspires to learning and constructive action. 2. Dedicating oneself to train for the realizations of one's full human potential. 5. Adherence to the principles of conditionalities, seeing things according to cause and effects. 6. Establishing oneself in healthfulness. 7. Thinking wisely so as to realize benefits and see the truth. For explanations, see introductory sections. That is about human beings and being humans. So, which the number one, men, the noble beings. That at the beginning topics in this book, the constitutions for living is It's at the beginners of part 2 that it talks about human beings and being humans, or the man with the his or her, the noble being. Why we say like that? Why we say human being is a noble being? Because all men can be trained and can be educated to be a super human being over the animal. So practicing according to the principle for encouraging wisdom. In practice, he may brings about the 2 conditions for right views mentioned above by following the principle known as the 4 Vutti Dhamma, conditions conducive to the development of wisdom. 1. Saburisa Sangseva. In Pali term, it means associating with the wise. He knows how to select source of knowledge and associates with learned people who are virtuous, wise, and worthy of respect. 2. Satthamma Savana. Hearkening to the teachings, he listened intensively to teachings and advice. He searched for knowledge from people and from books or mass media. He applied himself to learning and researching, seeks advice, and make queries so that he attained real knowledge. 3. Yoniso Manasikara. Thinking wisely, having learned, seen, read, or heard about something, he reflects on it for himself and analyzes to see its true natures, and both into it to see the what, when, where, why, and how of it. He sees marriage. He sees merits and demerits, benefits and harm, etc. 4. Dhammanuttamma Patipatti. This term is very important. Okay, let's see its meaning and its explanation. This term, Dhammanuttamma Patipatti, means practicing in accordance with principle. The thing he had learned, heard, and seriously considers, he puts into practice correctly in accordance with the principles and their objective, so that the minor's principle accords with the major's wants, and the minor practice are harmonious with the overall objective. He practiced the teachings with its objective in mind. For example, contentment as a support for efforts, but not leading to laziness. See, this is really means, for the term Dhammanuttamma Patipatti, it really means that when we come to learn and practice according to the Buddha teaching, especially sitting meditations or walking meditation, is very useful for our own occupation. It's very useful for our workplace, for our schools, for our university, and for our pathways leading to the end of suffering. So that, okay, according to these Buddhist terminologies, Dhamma Patipatti, we can practice meditation or we can practice mindfulness everywhere, every place, every time, every corners of this world. Whenever we have freedom, okay, practice. Because mindfulness practice or meditation retreats is never cause any harmful, never cause any obstacle for our life development and our sustainable progressing. So don't be biased. Don't be biased to the way of meditation retreats or to the ways of mindfulness practice according to this term, because the Buddha says in the Pali term Dhamma Patipatti, it really means that we are practicing the teachings with its objective in mind. For example, contentment as a support for efforts, but not leading to laziness. We are practice meditation, we are practice mindfulness to clarify, to motivate, to rouse, and to delight who we are, where we are come from, and where we are going to go forth for moving forward. Okay, please, especially I would one who know me and one who wish to learn meditation to take note rightly, exactly like the Buddha says, and like the Buddhist scholars throughout the world, especially the most Venerable Baba Yudo from Thailand said in this book, the book of the constitutions for living. In Thai, ธรรมนูญชีวิต หนังสือ ธรรมนูญชีวิต Okay, learning to be learn. Whatever he learns or studies, he make himself well versed in that field by increasing and clarifying his knowledge and understandings until he is endowed with the 5 qualities of the learned one, Pahusotta. 1. Pahusotas, hearing much, he learns, hears, sees, experiences, reads, and amasses large and extensive amounts of knowledge in his field. 2. Tata, returning, he grasps the gist or essence and remembers the subject matter accurately. 3. Vajasa Parichita, becoming fluent, he recites or speaks about the subject often, so that he is fluent in and clear about it, and can answer any queries about it. Next, number 4. Manasa Nupekita, becoming thoroughly familiarized. He thinks about the subject so often that he is thoroughly familiar with it. Whenever he calls it to mind, the contents is valid to him, and he perceives it clearly and thoroughly. 5. Titiya Supati Vitha, having penetrated, he clearly understands the overall meanings and regionals of the subject. He thoroughly and penetratingly knows its source, its logic, and the relationships of the content and the detail within the subject itself, and in relation to all the subjects within that field or theory. E. Honoring the lighters of the lamp in terms of their relations with the teacher. Students should show respect to him as the right directions according to the teachings on the 6 direction. Okay, these sections, I wish all my students have the opportunity to listen and to learn about, so that he or she know how to react to their master or their teacher rightly according to the Buddha teachings. So on the section that all students have responsibilities to their own teachers or masters. It's including 5 features or 5 main points that we have to take in our memory. Those are: number 1, rising to greet the teachers and showing respect to him or to her. 2, approaching the teachers to care for and attend him, to console, queries, and receive advice from him. 3, hearkening well so as to gain wisdom. And number 4, serving the teachers and running errands for him. And the last one, number 5, learning the subject respectfully and earnestly, giving the task of learning its use important. Okay, our topic today I think the content that I plan to talk about is limited, so it's just like that, not so much and not so less. That is about the learner. The topic is about the learner, including, it's also concerning popular students and researchers. In Vietnamese we call người có ăn học. Yeah, we can say that's okay. People that with their own trainings and educating to be the noble one. And next week I will continue to my new topics, that is about the devotees or a lay followers. So I hope that you all, especially your next generation, I don't know, okay, what happened to you at any cost of your life situation. Okay, please send your next generation to school, okay, and give the good chance or good opportunities to them to learn to be the learners, okay, and let them freestyle or give them the freedom to become the number one according to the Buddha teaching. So I would like to say goodbye. Wish you all happiness, prosperity, inner peace, and the last important one, wish you all become the learners and try to follow what the Buddha teach according to this topic, the learners. Namo Buddhaya.